What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and you're watching the Marvel edition of the Ragin Nation show. This is just a web series where we're talking about all things matter to me in the world of Marvel films. This is episode number 102, and it's been a while since I talked about anything related to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The only thing that I know that's going on right now is that Captain America Civil War is going through post-production, Doctor Strange is currently filming right now in London, and also Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is going through its casting process. Now, with regards to the casting process, the only thing that I did read about recently is that Kurt Russell is going through negotiations to play Star-Lord's father. You remember back in the very first Guardians of the Galaxy film, there was a lot of mystery surrounding Star-Lord's father. Who is Star-Lord's father? And what is the significance of Star-Lord's father? Well, that's going to be all addressed in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And hopefully, just hopefully, Kurt Russell signs on a dotted line and he will play that character. Alright, so I hope the negotiations go well because I would love to see Kurt Russell part of not just Guardians of the Galaxy, but the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, don't forget, if he's going to be in Guardians of the Galaxy, he's going to be a part of this great cinematic universe, joining the ranks of all these other great actors. So that in itself is going to be awesome. And to top things off, I like Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell plays a lot of very different roles. He's a very versatile actor. He's a good actor. He's an actor, like a classic actor. I mean, he was in Big Trouble in Little China, all right? And he was recently in The Hateful Eight, directed by Quentin Tarantino. And earlier this year, in the summer, he was in Furious 7. So he's just a crowd-pleasing kind of actor. Every time they announce that he's a part of something, I get excited. So I really, really hope he gets to play that role. All right? Moving on, let's talk about Doctor Strange. And something really exciting happened because yesterday they showed some official photos of what Benedict Cumberbatch looks like as Dr. Stephen Strange, Sorcerer Supreme. Check this out. This was shown on Entertainment Weekly magazine, and here he is on the cover, and you can see him in the costume, and he's like casting a spell. All right, now check out these photos. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna show you this one, and this one's kind of weird. All right, I don't exactly know what I'm looking at, but it looks like something in outer space, and Scott Derrickson said that, and Kevin Feige mentioned that, you know, Doctor Strange is going to start getting into the weird realm of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's going to get very psychedelic and deal with a lot of very magical imagery, all right? Now, check out this next photo. Now, this would be his little lab, his headquarters, his base of operations. Now, here he is going through an operation. Now this is cool. This is a profile shot of him. You can see him donning the cloak, the famous red cloak. And finally, now here's the sweetest and the sickest photo. Check this out. This is straight out of the comics. Look at him playing with magic. And he looks so good. I mean, he looks the part. He really, really looks the part. I was a little bit concerned at first just because, well, we've seen him play in all types of roles, but he's a very, very talented actor, and with the right costume and the right, look and, the right energy, he can play the part, and he looks the part right here, and I'm very, very, very pleased, okay? So that is awesome. Now, speaking of Doctor Strange, let's talk about what else is going on in the world of Doctor Strange. Now, this is very, very interesting. This happened 2 weeks ago, and I thought it'd be interesting to point this out. Tom Holland, that would be the actor for Peter Parker, he paid a little bit of a set visit to the Doctor Strange filming in London, and then he took a photo with Scott Derrickson as well as Marvel producer Louis D'Esposito. Well, by the way, Scott Derrickson is director. I keep on mentioning his name. But anyway, Scott Derrickson is director of Doctor Strange. And I'm just thinking, why did Tom Holland visit the set? Check out this photo tweeted by Louis D'Esposito, one of the producers. Me, Tom Holland, and Scott Derrickson on the set of Doctor Strange. Is he going to have a cameo appearance? All right, in the comics, Doctor Strange and Spider-Man did cross paths several times. In fact, a lot of comic book characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or rather in the Marvel Universe, cross paths all the time. It's like a regular thing. It's a huge universe, and it's bound to happen, okay? But anyways, Tom Holland on the set of Doctor Strange. Isn't that a little bit strange? Could he be having a cameo appearance? Could Spider-Man actually appear in Doctor Strange? That would be pretty cool if he actually does. Could he be having a small supporting role? Maybe he's just mentioned or somewhere in the background, or could he be in a post-credit scene that it connects itself with this film with Spider-Man: The New Avengers film. I don't know, but this is fishy, all right? You know, actors don't just show up on sets. They don't just make set visits. I mean, they do, but Tom Holland is Spider-Man. This isn't just anybody. This is Peter Parker paying a set visit to Doctor Strange. So hopefully he does appear. I would love to see it happen. I mean, that's straight out of the comics. So hopefully they tie in a story that connects Spider-Man with Doctor Strange. Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, they could pretty much do anything, but who knows? I mean, I hope it happens. Anyways, moving on. Let's talk about what's going on over at the post-production of Captain America Civil War. So, if you don't already know, 20 minutes of footage for Captain America Civil War was filmed with their new IMAX 2D digital cameras, alright? And while doing an interview, I mean, the Russo brothers were doing an interview, and they talked about the IMAX format and why it's important to have certain scenes filmed with IMAX cameras, and they also did mention that they thought it would be appropriate for Avengers Infinity War Parts 1 and 2 to be filmed entirely with IMAX cameras. Now, isn't that something? Typically, films only do, certain scenes with IMAX cameras because they find it to be appropriate, alright? They're talking about an entire film now. The only movie that had the most amount of footage to be filmed with IMAX cameras is Interstellar, and that was a little bit over 70 minutes. And that footage actually looked absolutely spectacular. Now, if Avengers Infinity War is going to be such a grand film with all these characters and such a grand battle against such a giant and grand opponent, well, they're definitely going to need IMAX cameras, and they're going to be as far as being as so ambitious to film both films with IMAX cameras. Let's just see what they had to say about this, okay? So, with regards to Captain America Civil War, they said it's about 20 minutes of IMAX. It's our first time using these new RE65 cameras in the IMAX format, and it's beautiful. Once we saw the 20 minutes of footage that we had shot, that's when we made the decision to do both movies of the Infinity War entirely in it. The scale is appropriate for superhero storytelling. There's a lot of characters in those movies, a lot of characters who are tall characters, big characters who are much taller than regular humans. So when you have that beautiful IMAX top and bottom frame, it creates a much grander format for a movie like that to be viewed in. I just feel like the thing that distinguishes movies right now is that widescreen format and the difference of why you go out of your house to go to the theater. It's to have that experience that you can't have at your house. For us, we wanted to really deliver on the promise of those movies. There's 20 movies behind them, so they're the culmination of 20 films, and it needs a big, beautiful format to tell that story. So, just like what I mentioned before, they know that they have a lot of characters in it. They have a lot of characters that are big and small, and it's very, very appropriate that if all these characters are going to show up in this film, it needs to be shown in the most biggest, most beautiful, large screen presentation ever, and that is in IMAX. So good on them for making this decision. I'm very, very excited about that. And man, 2018, 2019 is going to be huge. All right. So moving on, let's talk about some other stuff. Let's talk about the Incredible Hulk. All right. Let's see what's going on over at the Department of the Incredible Hulk. So, are we getting a film anytime soon? There's no word on that, and we've talked about this before, but Mark Ruffalo decided to spill the beans about what the whole deal is, about why we aren't getting a solo Incredible Hulk film, and it's all right here, and he explains it quite clearly. Marvel and Universal famously don't get along very well, and so that's working against us, definitely. But I know for a fact that everyone is holding out hope that one day we can do it. But the nature of the relationship right now, it's a little prohibitive. And I hope that that changes. That changes with regimes. It changes over the course of time. But right now, it doesn't look particularly promising. Now, if you don't understand about any of the whole rights issue, well, Universal Studios, they currently hold the rights to make Incredible Hulk solo films. They could do it like right now if they want to. But they're competing with Marvel Studios. Marvel Studios holds the rights to the character, but not to the solo film, like the film as a solo film. You know what I'm saying? They can add the character of Hulk to any film, but they just can't do a solo film. And if they do it, they would have to make negotiations with Universal about revenue sharing and all that stuff. And well, think about it. They're competing studios. All right, so why would one want to help each other unless they're there to share profits, which they currently aren't in the business of doing so right now, okay? And, Universal kind of kicked Disney's butt with the films that they put out this year, and they're celebrating. They made a lot of money with Furious 7 and Jurassic World, and they were happy when they kicked the box office butts of Avengers Age of Ultron. So they don't feel the need to really make that solo Hulk film. The only thing they can do is really just hold on and sit on that license, or rather the rights, until it expires, in which case they might make a solo Hulk film just to extend the holding of those rights. Alright, so who knows how many years that'll be, but I know it's going to be a while. But in the meantime, we can expect to see Hulk in Thor Ragnarok, as well as the upcoming Infinity Wars films. Now let's move on and talk about what's going on over at 20th Century Fox. And they have released a couple of images, which I am quite excited to share with you guys. And let's check this out. So first of all, there are some new... Let me drink some water. I've been talking so much and... my throat is kind of dry. So, first of all, they showed some new images of Deadpool. And they look pretty cool because we get to see some images, clear images of some of the characters. So this came from Empire Magazine, and we see the Merc sitting on this big slab of metal, and below him is Negasonic Teenage Warhead, which is the silliest name ever. But what I find really interesting is that she has the XMen suit. All right, this is the uniform, or rather the suit that they wear. So it's very cool that she's wearing it because it acknowledges who she is. All right, she's a mutant, and it acknowledges the fact that this world that Deadpool's in is completely connected with the X-Men universe that Bryan Singer has created. All right, moving on. The other photo is Teenage Negasonic Warhead with the Merc, and also Colossus. And Colossus is huge. Look at him. And I like the look of Colossus. This is the way he should look. Alright, just like from the comics. And finally, here's Angel Dust, played by Gina Carano. And I don't know what happened here, but it looks like this could be after a battle, because you can see all the wreckage behind her, and she looks like she just got in a fight. So this is our look at Gina Carano as Angel Dust. Moving on, another image that I'd like to share with you is some X-Men concept art, which is pretty cool because it shows us the evolved and possibly upgraded powers of Magneto. We've seen Magneto do all kinds of stuff, but don't forget, this is the Michael Fassbender younger version of Magneto, and his skills are not 100% as in the same level as the Ian McKellen version of Magneto. But what you can see in this concept art is that he's doing some serious damage, okay? He's doing serious damage. I mean, it probably has a lot to do with that he's enraged right now, and then he just completely destroys everything in his path by like moving metal. But anyways, you can see that this could be a pretty grand and spectacular action sequence, which Bryan Singer has created, and I'm really excited about it. But anyways, I've talked about a lot of stuff. I've talked about a lot of photos, official photos that have been shown. You can check out all of these photos at the Ragin Nation Facebook page. That's facebook.com/theragin.nation. Every individual photo is posted there. You can comment on them and talk about them and speculate all you want. It's there for you to check it out. So make sure you head over there, hit the like button, show some support, and be a part of the Ragin Nation. But anyways, I've talked about a lot of stuff. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about anything that you want to share with me. Alright? And there you have it. There's going to be plenty of more Marvel Edition videos, so stay tuned for more. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter at Ragin Nation. My name is Alex. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. Lightsaber fight, right? So that was really awesome. He drops his melee weapons. He drops his melee weapons, and then suddenly he